Let's be really quiet. I don't think he's up here. You see do you see how dark blue it is here? Do you see how it gets like dark green, dark blue as it gets out there? That's pretty cool, eh?
I think the journey of Headwaters started so long ago that it's hard to even pinpoint a starting point. Mark and I had always had this vision of somehow having a space where we could host people, provide a space for rest and retreat and just a pursuit of health and wholeness and rest. When we were I think I was pregnant with our first, Weston, we started going to counseling. The two of us, we went to personal counseling, and that process really brought a lot of healing and wholeness in our lives individually and even in our relationship. That really helped form who we are. We really saw this vision of creating something where people would come and feel whole and receive healing, learn about who God is, who they are. We talk about the headwaters, and the headwaters being the source of the lakes and the rivers that flow from there, and how when we have these belief systems inside our hearts, inside our minds, that everything that flows from that is affected. So if I have a belief that I'm not enough or that I'm not seen, then all that I do kind of flows from that belief system, and everything seems to be tainted. And we really wanted to focus in on how health is so important. If I have a healthy belief system in my heart and my mind, then everything that flows from that is affected in a better way. And so that kind of started us on this journey.
Why did we choose this place? Well, do you want me to stop and turn around? Keep going? It's one of those weird, as much as we chose this place, it kind of chose us. And what I mean by that is, we had felt God laying this area on our hearts for a long time. And I was sharing with a good friend of mine, just this desire for planting a Bible school out in the Kootenays of British Columbia. And he just said, well, isn't that funny? I just heard about a Bible camp that might be coming up for sale. And so Jessica and I in the summer of 2019 drove out here, camped in the town nearby, and came and took a look at this camp. And I mean, it's unbelievably breathtaking. This is, in Celtic spirituality, they would talk about this concept of thin places, where the veil between heaven and earth is really thin. And this is one of those places that as I look around, as I look at the trees, the water, the creek, the mountains, the bald eagles that literally fly past our house every day, it's like all of it points towards God. How can you not see God in the midst of this? And if we're wanting to do a Bible school for people to encounter God, what better place than to do that here, where it literally feels like God is present amongst us because he is so tangible in the creation and the beauty that's all around us.
Yeah, the scariest thing I think for me was whether or not we're hearing God correctly, as we process a call and vision and what God has placed on our heart. And then probably I think practically with our kids, scary moving from a place we know and is comfortable and doing something totally different and stepping out. One of the things, and like Mark talked about, pillar of creativity, another one is just creation and being able to adventure out here. And I think that's been our story too, is the adventure of it, stepping out in faith and risking. And that's honestly, when you step out and go on a trip in the wilderness, in the wild, it does feel like a big risk too. It's exciting that God has been with us in that as well.
How has my own creativity grown in this process? I think it's been this step of you just have to continually think outside of the box more and more. I remember the process of even how we came out here, and it's oh, okay, I guess we have to fundraise to purchase the camp. We got to help fundraise for this. Oh, I guess we got to now fundraise for our salaries. Like I resonate with Peter getting out of the boat and walking on the water and seeing the waves, and they just keep coming and they keep getting bigger. And it's like, oh God, is this it? Is this the one that's going to finally shipwreck us? And continually, as Jess shared earlier, God has been faithful, and he continues to give us creative solutions to different problems. Things like even this church building that was given to us in town, which is really cool and a real gift. Well, nobody wants to come and pastor it right now. And we just feel this like burden for this community that really needs to hear about Jesus and encounter him, which is what really led us to, okay, like what can we do with what's been given to us? Well, let's turn this into a coffee shop. Let's, rather than wait to bring a church planter on, let's plant conversations, relationships in a need of the community, which is this coffee shop, and how every step of the way, God has been faithful and caused us to think outside of the box about what we need and how we need to make this and how he's provided and all of that too. So I think my creativity's grown in, as Jess said, the risks we're taking are greater, as well as it's just more things we would have never even considered before. We just have to keep pushing the envelope of what we need to do and what this looks like.